Let's get into it, baby.
Ah yeah, it's time to travel and bang, baby.
This is Travel and Bang. I am Marky Bravo the Mulatto. I want to really focus in on something that is just life-changing. Whether if you're a younger man, middle-aged, or older, you have to revisit this, psychologically analyze this over and over, different parts, different eras as your life goes on. And if you don't, what I've learned is you can end up slipping up, and this will bite you in the ass in regards to the relationships that you have with women through time, or maybe just one woman if your relationships are more long lasting. And that's the dichotomy of scarcity and abundance. Okay, so what am I talking about? Recently there was a article, and I found it very interesting because this could happen to any man. Maybe not any man, but there was an OnlyFans model, okay? And she had a numerous amount of subscribers, and this gentleman was a subscriber, and he donated, you know what I mean, a substantial amount of money, and then even asked if she would do the girlfriend experience, could hang out, he would pay her. Well, as timeline went on, they became a couple, okay? And they started, you know, dating. Now, what he didn't know is she was a borderline personality disorder / bipolar, toxic, angry psycho, okay? And she just started treating him like shit. Got really, really abusive, you know what I mean? And I'm at the video of the elevator scene to show, you know what I mean, how she is the aggressor. And the main thing is this: I want to warn men about this illusion that they buy into, okay? Because the illusion what this gentleman had from this OnlyFans girl was, she's like, oh, she's my dream girl, you know what I mean? And she knew that. As they dated, she picked up on that he was paying for her, because she is borderline personality disorder, and who knows if alcohol or even drugs was involved. She started getting abusive, from my understanding, slapping, punching, just pushing, basically physically assaulting the guy. And the guy, not having any options, just put up with it, okay? And as the timeline goes on, she ends up one evening stabbing him to death with a kitchen knife. And she got caught up in the court system, you know, basically almost got off on the murder, but her, you know what I mean, when they saw the video footage and realized that she was the aggressor, that now she's going to get charged with murder. What's my main point is, this could happen to anybody, you know what I mean? And this all comes down to how men have this dichotomy, okay, this scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset, okay? If the man was engaged in an abundance mindset, he would have never put up with any of this type of dysfunctional trailer trash Betty behavior. Do you understand? As soon as she would have started, he would have said, oh, wait a minute, I'm out, okay? Because, but see, when you're in a scarcity mindset, the guy had no options. He didn't have any other women to talk to. She was only focusing in on this woman, Courtney, the OnlyFans chick. You know what I mean? Buying into the whole smoke and mirrors illusion, you know, because when she puts makeup on, she's a little bit hot. That's what I call it, a little bit hot. Not really that hot, just a little bit hot, you know. And then when you see her mugshot, I'll put that up too. She's just an average girl. She's just an average girl. She doesn't even look like how she looks in the other photos. She's just a girl. She shits and pisses and farts and, you know, gets into bad moods during the day, probably more than most. And she's just a human being. But this guy He bought into the narrative of smoke and mirrors, that the illusion that she presented on her OnlyFans webpage. Do you understand that? And him being in scarcity and not having any other women to talk to, he put up with it. And he paid his life. He lost his life. You know what I mean? I've seen some comments where some men say, oh man, this is why you gotta learn self-defense. You know what I mean? And I can only say, even if he was skilled in martial arts or boxing, as soon as he would have put his hands on her and the cops got involved, he would have been looked as an abusive man, a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? So in that situation, all you could maybe do is get punched, slapped, and just kind of walk away and leave. You know what I mean? Because if you know any engagement and as a man you engage in conflict with a woman, you're automatically, in our society, Western civilization, more of a gynocentric society that we live in these days. It caters to the woman. You're going to get in trouble. But you know, if someone sneaks up on you and stabs you with a kitchen knife, doesn't matter how tough you are, how muscular you are, you know, it's 50 Cent the rapper got shot 9 times, right? And he survived. But not everybody can survive a brutal attack. You understand? Most people, they lose too much blood, they die. Okay? And that's what I want to warn men, because so many men out there, not all, they're in it's not even that they're in scarcity, it's more deeper than that. You know what I mean? You look for validation that you get from women. It's toxic, it's bad. You can attract some really fucked up type of women in your life. You know what I mean? Because they pick it up. You know what I mean? It's like Chris Rock, the comedian, said once, women can smell it like sharks can smell blood in the water. Desperation. They can smell it. And 2 things will happen. They're totally turned off when they sense it coming off of you, and they want nothing to do with you. That pussy dries up. They don't want to have anything to do with you. They don't find you attractive. Or B, you run into the type that exploits that, and you get used and abused. Okay? And that can happen to even somebody like me. And by the way, I want to really put out there, a lot of dating coaches or people who talk about their experiences, who give their expertise, they never seem to talk about the situations that they were in, where maybe they went through a beta male stage, or a stage where they were like a simp in scarcity. Most men, we all go through that one stage. You know what I mean? But the main thing is you get over it, you evolve, and you change. I was married in my early 20s, right? And I married the party girl. Yeah, I was that guy. And she liked to drink. She didn't just drink a little, she got shit-faced, plastered. She liked to get super drunk. And 2 things happened when she got super drunk. My ex-wife, my former wife, she either wanted to fuck like a porn star, and she did every nasty, kinky, dirty thing that you could ever fantasize that you see in movies, okay? She either got real horny or she got very abusive. I remember getting a cell phone, okay, thrown at my forehead. This was back in the day, okay? How far back? Dummy phones. What's a dummy phone? Dummy phone is the opposite of a smartphone. You can only send messages, text messages, and make calls. There were no computers, transistor chips built into phones at that point in time, okay? Early 2000s. Have one of those be thrown at your forehead. You know what I mean? It hurts. And you just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna put my hands on this person, and then you can't, because you know what's gonna happen. See the abusive situation that I put myself in, or getting a beer can with beer in it thrown at my head. You know, just different situations. Why would I put up with that type of behavior? Why? Because I was in scarcity. I was psychologically in scarcity. I didn't have options, and she knew that. And her being a fucked up toxic woman took advantage of that. They can treat you like shit because they know you're going to put up with it. And it's the reverse almost what happens a lot of times, mostly to women. Men see that the woman has no options. She has low self-esteem. So they treat the woman like shit, and they slap her around and maybe beat her up. You know what I mean? So it happens to men too, but it's something that men don't talk about because it's embarrassing. But the thing is you evolve from that, you know what I mean? That part of your life. And then you have to understand the mechanics of it. Why did you put up with it? Scarcity mindset. You put up with it because you thought there was nothing else out there. You're just locked in tight, right? Versus abundance. Because abundance is where you want to be. Even if you're not at the point in time sexually in abundance with a lot of women. Psychologically, you need to just fucking pretend you are, okay? And then that will carry on into your behavior. And before you know it, you do put out the vibrational frequency of abundance, and women pick up on it, and they get horny over it. They get attracted. You understand? Because women want to fuck a man that other men want to be like, and want to fuck a man who other women want to fuck. Okay? When they feel that, wow, he's an attractive man, a lot of women must really want to sleep with him. When a woman picks up on that, they want some of the action. You understand? You're a prize to be had. Okay? But if nobody wants, if they sense you're a beta loser and no other women find you attractive or would want to fuck you, they don't see value. They don't see any value in those type of men. And once again, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm not talking about all women. I get it. You got your 2-3% in the population are totally on some other shit. But we're talking about the majority percentage of how women's instinctual protocol of how they take on attraction, sexual attraction with the men they choose, they select, okay? So that's what I want to put out. Abundance versus scarcity. Always choose abundance. There's always more where that came from. There's always more. And that's why you need to talk to several different women at all times. Okay? You need to be in contact with several women at all times. You need to be doing game all the time. You need the spare tire. You can't depend on the tires you have on the car, because if you go flat, you're fucked. And then you'll be looking crazy, and then you're in scarcity. You're running through the desert looking for water, and you're chasing mirages. You know what I mean? Chasing an illusion, like this gentleman. And he ended very tragically, stabbed to death with a kitchen knife. Don't let that be you. Till next time, this has been Travel and Bang.